Hey, what's up, folks? How are we doing tonight? I am Sports Talking It on X. I'm trying to get Jamie in here because he said his all his stuff got reset, so I'm trying to do that while I'm doing this. Anyway, we're gonna talk some baseball tonight, guys, and we have the usual suspects. Dylan's been coming back for the last three shows now. It's pretty cool. We have a new guy tonight, and we have our usual suspect in Fresno. Um, First, we're gonna bring them in right now. We're gonna bring Dylan in right now. Um, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Good, Adam. Just enjoying the beautiful weather here in Florida. Sorry, it's sunny and it was sunny and getting close to 80 degrees. Feels like spring.
It was 63 here in Pittsburgh today, so I'm not complaining. But it is supposed to drop again tomorrow, and yeah. So we'll see what happens. Damn groundhog. But all right. Next we're gonna bring in our usual suspect, Mr. Jason, who was on a show earlier this week. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much, my friend. How are you doing? I apologize.
Good.
It's going to be a short night tonight, but family does beckon, so I will try and jump in here as much as I can. And as always, thanks for having me back on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk sports with you, my friend.
Always, Jason. You know you're always welcome back anytime, and I bust your balls, and it's all good.
and I take it in stride, my friend. Fortunately for you, I have a sense of humor.
But we do have a new guy to bring on, and Jamie should be joining us shortly. Next, we're going to bring on Casey, who I didn't meet him yet. Well, I just met him now. But anyway, what's going on, man?
Just another day living the dream. Very first podcast, so thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Love talking baseball. Sure. And, all this talk about temperatures and weather has got me really jealous. I had to move about 9 inches of snow here this afternoon. Currently is 0, and our forecast for the overnight low is -16. So
nice. Make a snow cone, Casey.
Just don't drink the yellow snow.
Yeah, right.
Stay out of the dogs area.
Yeah, exactly.
But thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Wow. All right. I'm gonna let Jamie jump in here in a minute. Hopefully he jumps in here, and I'll be able to bring in the new show host and the other one who just got back from Florida, I believe. He's got a big shit-eating grin on his face on the backstage. All right, we'll just bring in Joe. Why not? Joe's joining us. Just got back from. Where did you come back from?
Florida. My favorite place in the world.
So, Joe, we got some new faces on here tonight. We got the usual suspect over there in the corner, Jason. Then we got Dylan, who's Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Casey with the Minnesota Twins.
Nice to meet you as well.
Right.
And Jason, nice to see you again.
Yep, I'm glad to see you as well again, Joe. Hope you had a fun time hitting your balls there on the back nine in Florida.
Yeah, a lot of balls actually, but it was still fun. Nice to be there in nice weather. Better than Buffalo, that's for sure.
I bet.
Apparently, yeah, just like in case you know, Joe is in Buffalo.
Yes.
So that cold weather's probably going to swoop over the lake.
Yeah, I'm the idiot that decided to move here, but I'm ready for some greener pastures now. So we'll see if that can happen sometime down the road.
Gotcha. All right. Next, we have our other suspect finally here. I don't know what's going on with this computer, but what's up, Jim?
Hello.
There.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right. So, Jay, what did you think of Walker Buehler? He's having a rough time out there so far.
Yeah, very, very concerned about that because, Dodgers last season kind of painted the picture of he's on track with his rehab. Sounds like he's going to be good to go for the start of spring. And as we have found out in the Andrew Friedman era, everything that front office says you have to take with a hefty grain of salt. And so what I'm reading here right now is that Buehler probably won't be ready for the start of the season. That he
I'm on the show, Dad.
That's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say was, it sounds like Buehler may not see game action here probably until, I would say, I don't know, maybe early June. That's
All right,
not a
guys.
good prognosis. And, considering that Walker Buehler's coming off his second Tommy John surgery, for those of you who don't recall, shortly after he was drafted by the Dodgers, he had his first Tommy John surgery, missed a year and a half because of that. This does not bode well for the Dodgers. Their rotation is not as deep as everyone makes it out to be. They're getting Tyler Glass now in their rotation, which is good, but he's coming off of Tommy John surgery as well. Clayton Kershaw is not going to pitch until July-ish or August-ish, quoting him. They're not going to have Dustin May. They're not going to have Tony Gonsolin. Walker Buehler was their big workhorse just a couple of years ago and was even locked down for them in the postseason in 2020. They need him in that rotation. And to not have him in that rotation, at least for the start of the season, that's big. And that's cause for concern because they made it sound like he was on track and ready to go. And now all of a sudden, whoops, right when he takes 2 steps forwards, now we have to take 2 steps backwards. So it's going to be an annual progression with him. And honestly, if they can get 150, 160 innings out of him this season, I'm really going to be surprised. And I don't say that to be a naysayer. I'm just being realistic about his potential here.
All right, so Walker Buehler is going to be on the shelf for a little bit. I read that it could return late April.
And I also read another report that says maybe late April, early May, possibly June. One thing I know, Adam, is that the Dodgers obviously are going to be very, very, very hands-on with his innings workload. So there is a chance that even if he is ready to go at the beginning of the season, maybe they don't bring him back right away as a form of innings control. I don't know. But, I'm reading so many differing viewpoints now about his health. It's really hard to believe what's true and what isn't true.
All right. JB, I'm going to jump to you real quick. Soto's got 6 parks left to hit a home run and hit it in all 30 in the regular season. Can you name them?
Are you talking about Judge?
Without researching it.
You're saying Judge, right?
Soto.
I don't think Yankee Stadium. No, he's hit one at Yankee Stadium. He's obviously hit one at is it still called Petco Park at San Diego, or is it something
No,
else?
what parks hasn't he hit one in? He's got 6 left. Does anyone else know?
At the Met Stadium?
Well, you would.
City Field, yeah.
Adam, I'm going to say PNC Park.
No.
Rockers.
Tropicana Field.
Fantasy Park. All right. Casey, any guess?
Target.
That is one of them. Yes.
Huh.
Rogers Center.
And one of the
Globe Life
parks
Park.
is in the background.
I'm gonna say
Oh, that's Minute Maid.
No. Well, that's not Minute Maid, but Minute Maid is one of them. He did hit
Globe Life Park.
regular season, but I did say regular season in Minute Maid. So that apparently they don't count if they're in the postseason. All right, so we got
That's
Minute Maid.
Globe Life Park, I can tell.
What field is behind us, boys?
Globe Life.
That is Globe Life.
It's
Progressive.
got the retractable roof. That's how I knew, and there's Texas
Progressive.
Rangers people right there.
Kaufman.
Angel Stadium.
No, he has hit one at Yankee Stadium. He did with the Nationals.
Angel Stadium.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And then Guaranteed Rate Field. Did anyone see this name coming from Chicago White Sox?
Nope. I would have thought he would have hit like 40 of those.
Name of their field so many times. So Jamie, are you excited about Juan Soto or what?
After he hit that first home run in spring training, I'm excited, but I'm actually excited about somebody that may have a chance to crack the big league roster this year or be in the AAA, and that's George Lombard Jr.
That was literally my next
from last
That was
year.
literally my next question. And I will show that to you right now, James. Look.
Nice.
He looks
So-
he looks like he's at least, if not MLB ready, he's at least minor league ready. I mean, he's a good size, medium size height. He's got a good swing on the ball. He's a good contact hitter, but he can really crack the ball and hit home runs too. And he's only 18 years old. It was just drafted out of high school last year too.
Right?
Born in 2005.
Gosh, these guys are so good, so young.
Right?
I mean, like Jackson Holiday is the number one prospect in baseball, and he may crack the Orioles opening day roster this year.
It's so funny. I was getting there. Dylan, I'm glad you did your homework. Look, see? Oh, wait, where'd I put it? That ain't it. There it is. I was going to ask you if any of those guys are going to make the big league roster, Dylan.
I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be surprising if Jackson Holiday starts the year in Baltimore. I mean, he's that good. By the way, did anybody see the prospect for the Rangers, Wyatt Langford? Woo! Just what the world champs need. Another great outfielder.
I did not see that.
What's his name?
Wyatt Langford.
Okay.
Number 6 prospect in all of baseball. First round pick.
Okay. We'll have to keep our eyes out for him.
Out of Florida. Chomp chomp.
Or I know I showed these things earlier, but is anyone going to go get one? The 91 starter jacket that has returned.
Whew, it's tempting.
If
I
it's
like the-
Fanatics, I would get it, but
I like the fact that it says Devil Rays on it. I love the original Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I think it should still be that name, but I like that on there.
me too. Even though as a Yankee fan, I liked it when it was Devil Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you would kick all butts.
Oh, and another thing real quick, Joe, I don't know if Jamie got to share this with you yet, but we did come up with this. I don't know if you got to see it for yourself.
No, I did not get to see it. That's awesome. I love it.
That show will be coming soon. I'm sure Jamie will have a date and all that good jazz ready to go.
We have to talk about it though, Adam. Just you, me, and Joe sometime, like on a private DM thing about what it should be and everything.
So, Joe, back to you real quick.
Mhm. Yeah, that's not good news for Mets fans. I mean, pitching depth is not something that they have. Star power as far as a pitching rotation is not something they have. And, I wanted to see a ghost in the pitching arsenal and not him being ghosted from the field. Yeah, that's just typical bad Mets luck that seems to happen. Their prospect, Ronnie Mauricio, tears his ACL in winter ball, and he's out for the season, and now this. So, certainly not good news. And, we'll see. Hopefully it's a shorter term injury than they're thinking. But I haven't really heard, much of exact time frames or anything like that. But certainly him missing any time, especially extended time, is certainly bad news for the rotation.
Just to let everyone know, he had a cortisone shot in his UCL, throwing shoulder. They say it's supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks, which is 2 months almost, before he can even throw a ball. So this is definitely a major setback, and for my dynasty baseball team anyway.
Right. Yeah, but the fact that this was completely unexpected too. I mean, nobody saw this coming, and everything, he was good to go, and really they had high hopes for him. But this is just, it seems sudden that, this is happening. So, again, certainly not good. And hopefully, that time frame could be sped up a little bit. But, at the same time, you don't want to rush him back either. So other guys are just going to have to step up.
Casey, the floor is yours because I have no idea what these Twins did in the offseason. I couldn't find shit. The only news coming out of there would have been this one.
Oh,
Hall of Fame. Yeah. Good for him.
Which, which is a great accomplishment. So glad he didn't go play football or basketball because apparently in high school he excelled tremendously in all three actually, but he stuck with baseball. Definitely Joe Mauer deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Adam, I want to ask Casey something about Joe Mauer because I'm a Yankees fan, and obviously, when Joe Mauer played, I'm a Yankees fan, but I was also a fan of the Red Wings because the Red Wings were the Twins' farm team for a long time until they just went to Washington. But do you really think the Hall of Fame accomplishment is that big, or him winning the batting title over Derek Jeter?
I think any time that a catcher wins a batting title, I think that speaks volume from such a demanding position day in and day out. Being a Hall of Famer, it's fantastic. But what from a defensive perspective, he certainly played the role there up until the concussions took over in his career. But I'd have to say winning a batting title as a catcher is just extremely demanding. I think that speaks volume of him as a player and his ability to put the bat on the ball on a consistent basis.
Yeah, like I said, Derek Jeter, who's probably the GOAT of shortstops, came in second that year to him too.
And by the way,
2006 was.
Mauer won 2 batting crowns.
Yep.
Did you ever get to meet him, Case?
No, I did. I seen him on the field several times, but I wasn't the guy trying to chase him down at the front row and those kinds of things. But seeing him and how he reacts with the fans, especially the kids, out on the field and sharing time and signing, and you could just tell what kind of quality individual he actually is, and really loves the game. You can really tell that when you see him.
Do you have any fun memories of them, like games you want to talk about, or you can talk about your Twins this year? Like I said, I found nothing, so I feel shitty.
Well, the Twins generally don't make big splashes, but here's my takeaway. We have had such a strong farm system for a really, really long time, and I feel like we really, at this point, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I think that we really need to take the time and find out what we have in these prospects that we've been just stockpiling forever. Mm-hmm. So, we're allowed to let some players go, like Michael A. Taylor, for example, who is a defensive machine, had a phenomenal offensive year last year, and at times carried the load for the Twins when everybody else was struggling. But we let him go. Willie Castro brought back, and he's a spark plug in that outfield and as a base runner. But when you got guys like Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach, you've got Alex Kirilloff, we need to find out what he can do. We got, Will Holland is coming up. We just have so much talent in that farm system that we need to take a look at. Brooks Lee, who is a top prospect for the Twins, is going to get an opportunity to play. I think the starting lineup is, pretty well-rounded with Royce Lewis, Correa, Edouard Julien, and then Alex Kirilloff, and now Santana. We did sign Santana, which is basically, a Joey Gallo 2.0, but with a better batting average and a lot less strikeout rates.
Joey Gallo, I can
painful.
I can say that as a Yankee fan.
I've got a worse one for you, Jamie. How about Sonny Gray?
Oh,
didn't do inconsistent for how much we paid him, but actually isn't doing bad coming out of the bullpen now. So,
Casey, 2 things for you.
Sure.
2 of my favorite players to watch on the Twins are Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis. I was really impressed with Royce Lewis a lot last year. He seems like one of those 5-tool guys who's going to be the next star player at his position. A, do you agree with that? And B, do you finally think we have seen the all-star ceiling with Byron Buxton, or because of all the injuries he had in the past, is he playing a game of catch-up, and does he still have a ways to go before he's truly considered a legit star?
Touch on Royce Lewis first. I do think that's a five-tool guy. He is going to be the foundation of the Twins for a really, really long time. Defensively, offensively, he seems like he fits really well in the clubhouse. Yes, he will be playing third base for the Twins for a very long time, and I like what I see from him, and he will definitely have that starting spot. In regards to Byron Buxton, it's the guy does not have the ability to turn it off. He hustles 100% all the time, and he can't back it down and avoid the injuries. And I think the goal for him this year is for him to be able to return to center field and maybe make some smarter decisions. But with that said, I don't think anybody knows what we're really going to get out of Byron Buxton this year. Sure, we're going to get splash plays on defense, and we're going to get a great base runner. But if he doesn't get those consistent at-bats, are we going to get the Byron Buxton from 3 years ago? Or are we going to get the Byron Buxton that hits 200 because he just doesn't get to swing the bat enough?
Right, good point.
I think that's yet to be seen. But certainly the skills are there. It's gonna depend on whether or not he can stay on the field, in my opinion.
Okay, gotcha.
Dylan, what is Amat Rosario going to be doing in Tampa?
I have no idea. It might depend on what happens with Mr. Wander Franco, whatever happens there, because I think that's been the question the last few months. Will Wander Franco ever play for the Rays again? But I mean, with Tampa, you know what the Rays are going to have. Seemingly, the Rays have guys on the IL. I mean, Drew Rasmussen, hurt. Shane McClanahan, hurt. Jeffrey Springs, hurt. I think shoulder and elbow injuries. Seems like every year the Rays have guys either undergoing Tommy John or coming back from Tommy John. You know it, Jason, because your Dodgers just traded for Tyler Glasnow.
Yep.
Who, by the way, coming off a career high 120 innings last year.
Wow. I don't think he ever logged more than 60 or 70 when he played with the Pirates. Did he, Adam?
I was just going to say, we're all in the top row here, and I believe we've all seen Glasnow pitch in our team's respectful uniform.
Great. Dylan, what about Shane Baz? What's the status on him, man? When's he coming back?
That is a good question. I honestly don't know about Shane Baz. That is a good one.
His stuff was really filthy before he got on the shelf. I mean, really filthy. And I came away really impressed with him. And then he had his injury problems. I'm like, oh, no, not another one. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, jeez.
I think he'll be okay this year. Be honest with you, if anybody does Dynasty League or Fantasy, he might be one of those guys where if he could put it together, throw 150, 160 innings. Shane Baz has got nasty stuff. But the question is, like every Tampa Bay Ray pitcher, can he stay healthy?
Another question for you, Dylan. I know that trade rumors surface around Randy Arozarena in the offseason. Do you think he stays on the Rays roster up until the trade deadline? Or if the Rays are still interested in dangling him, do you think they deal him at the trade deadline or before?
I mean, it's the end all. It's the rinse and repeat in terms of the Rays rumors trading everybody. Because, everybody said for what? The better part of a year, the Rays would trade Tyler Glasnow. Well, that eventually happened. And with Arozarena, he's got 2 more arbitration years left. So my guess would be Arozarena's not traded on July 31st, but it could be a next December move because that 2 years left. Seemingly, the Rays like to move guys in the offseason. I mean, done them with Longo, done them with Glasnow. Tampa will make big moves in the offseason and then potentially make a move in July, all like an Aaron Savali.
Mm.
So, yes, but probably more offseason for Rosarena.
Okay.
Jason, I got a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Please, by all means.
What did you think of the Ohtani signing? First of all, the length and the money, and then what do you think about the fact that he isn't not going to pitch at all this year for the Dodgers and just swing the stick?
Wow, Casey, two excellent questions. To answer the first question, I initially my head went back and forth like a bobblehead doll when I found out about.
I broke the news to Jason.
Yeah, funny story about that. I was busy doing workout in my backyard when Adam texted me and said, "Dude, Dodgers got Ohtani."
I called you. I didn't text you. I called you.
That's right. I'm sorry. He called me and said, "Dodgers got Ohtani." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know. So I literally hung up with him, monitoring my Twitter feed. And like 2 minutes after he called me, I look at the Dodgers Twitter channel. I'm like, son of a bitch, they got him. And so I called him back and I said, damn, you're right, man. We got him. So as far as the money, Casey, look, Ohtani is a once in a generational talent. We haven't seen a ball player do the stuff he's doing since Babe Ruth. And none of us were alive when he did all that. But regardless of how good he is, $700 million, that is just obviously a ton of cash. But what got me more curious was the fact that he specifically went to the Dodgers and said, I want to defer 650 of this $700 million so that way you guys can still go out and have the financial flexibility to sign and retain other key free agents in the future. How many star players are willing to go up to their executives and say, hey, I'm willing for you to take this much money out in order to use it to sign these guys? I mean, and look, the Dodgers are getting hit for that. Shohei's getting hit for that a little bit. But obviously,
isn't Ohtani making like $300 million in ads in Japan?
Exactly. Yeah. So he's
Well,
going to.
money is not an issue to this guy. I'm so glad he did this because now all of a sudden you put a couple of championships under his name in this contract era stuff.
Yep.
I think the guy's a marketing genius.
Yeah, he is. To answer the second part of the question there, Casey, as far as him not pitching this year, the Dodgers are kind of getting a half-ended deal with that because when you give Ohtani that much money, you want Ohtani, who's not only an MVP candidate as a hitter, but you want Ohtani, who is a contentious Cy Young Award candidate every single year. Obviously, we know he's not going to pitch this year, so they're giving him all that money to be a one-dimensional player. But it goes back to the old saying, does the ends justify the means? The one thing concerns me is even if Ohtani does come back and pitch like Walker Buehler, he's coming off of his second Tommy John surgery. How effective will he be? I've heard rumors that maybe when he does come back, the Dodgers might toss him in the bullpen to kind of limit his innings there and then slowly matriculate him back as a starter. But either way, whether he is going to make an impact as a pitcher or as a hitter, getting one part of Ohtani is better than not getting both of them. And based on what I saw in the spring and today in his first spring at bat, the old saying goes, they don't miss by much. And that home run that Ohtani hit in his first spring at bat as a Dodger, whoa. I mean, that was huge. That was huge. The influence he's going to have in the clubhouse is going to be beyond measure. So as much as I would like to see him be that two-way player, honestly, our offense needs him a lot more than we need him in the rotation, even though our rotation is not as deep and as talented coming out of the gate as everyone wants you to believe it is.
Yeah, you got a pretty big starter starting tomorrow. I don't know how long they're going to let him go or what the leash is. You know what it is?
Mr. Yamamoto.
Yeah, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I heard they're going to let him go probably 5 innings. If he hits a wall, obviously they'll yank him before, but they want to stretch him out a little bit here, give him 5 good innings at the least to see how well he adjusts. Because I mean, keep in mind, coming over from Japan, they don't have a pitch clock in Japan, and they also don't have innings limits on their pitchers. So they need Yamamoto enough time to get adjusted to the pitch clock. The way that starters are handled at the major league level, he needs to get acclimated to all of that still. So I think what they're doing, the way they're handling him, is actually a good course of action here. I know there's been some concerns about his health, but I mean, we're not going to know until we throw him out there. So I'll be anxious to see what he does tomorrow.
Thoughts on that? While you three are here, do you guys want to talk about this trade? The trade that sent Margot everywhere. Still on two of these people on this page. You guys want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. Casey, I'm going to let you start this one off, man.
You know, I've only seen some splash plays from him, so really, I'm not 100% sure what we're getting as a player. I know that we're gonna have a spot for him in the outfield. I think sometime as these younger kids emerge, Max Kepler potentially could be on the trading block at some point, and Margot will probably fill in that role. And there again, Buxton's health is going to be a big piece of this as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd love to get your feedback, both Dylan and Jason, and well, everybody. Just what kind of player are the Twins getting with this trade?
Well, Manuel Margot has some decent speed in the outfield still. As a hitter, he's very hot and cold. When he's cold, he's cold. When he's hot, the streaks are very short, elongated a little bit. I'm not surprised the Dodgers traded him. The Dodgers already have a gluttony of outfielders, not only on their current roster, but at AAA as well. And also, they value versatility more than anything else as an organization. Margot does not give them the flexibility, either in the outfield or in the lineup, that the guy they just signed to a one-year deal, Kike Hernandez. And say what you will about Kike. Yeah, he's a flash in the pan, but he does have the ability to play multiple positions in the infield and the outfield. And again, Andrew Friedman loves that versatility. Margot wasn't able to give it to him. And really, Casey, Margot was on borrowed time with LA anyway. When the Dodgers traded him, everybody knew he was not going to be there long term. So I'm not shocked that they dealt him to the Twins or anybody else for that fact.
Honestly, if you want my take on Margot, I think he's insurance for Buxton, because Byron Buxton's not going to play 162 games in the outfield. I think the Twins will DH Buxton. Margot is like that insurance guy, somebody who can play the center field in the pinch, but probably better in the corner. Really like him against lefties.
Yeah, and I think you nailed that, Dylan, actually, you know, because by not bringing Michael A. Taylor back, we needed that person that could play center field. We've got the right field corner covered in left field. Willie Castro can fill in there. And that Willie Castro is the Twins version of a Kike Hernandez. He could play third base, second base, outfield. So the prospect in Noah Miller that we traded was essentially expendable for us, because those positions for the Twins in the minor leagues are just so deep that it was worth a flyer, in my opinion.
So, James, I know you got good news with Diaz coming back, Joe. Is he ready? I don't know anything about him. I just know that it says projected opening day roster. He'll be there.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's definitely ready to go. It's just, you know, which Edwin Diaz is going to show up. That's what I'm curious to see. You know, is this the guy that was the all-star closer, the untouchable guy we had before the injury? Or is this going to be the inconsistent Edwin Diaz that we had a couple of years before that? So it's going to be very interesting to see. He's got the physical capability. It's just, how is he going to react mentally after a year off? You know, so I'd be very interested to see that. I'm kind of being pessimistic and kind of hoping that he proves me wrong. I mean, not that I think he's going to flop, but, you know, my expectations are low. And if he can exceed them, that's great. But again, I'm very curious to see mentally, how is he going to come back after this injury? I'm not concerned about physical or you know, how he's going to be as far as the knee is concerned. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think the mental part of this is the biggest question mark right now.
Joe, all I want to know, Joe, is when Diaz comes back, are we going to be hearing Timmy Trumpet playing throughout Citi Field again?
You know what? I sure hope so. That was the most disappointing thing about this whole injury to me, is that we were missing that all of last season. So my guess is yes, and I
They play
certainly
that at
hope so.
college games too, Timmy.
They
Oh,
play it
no.
everywhere. I mean, I see it at hockey games. I see it at
Right.
What's
college
that
games.
from, Timmy Trumpet?
What's that?
What's that from, Joe? I've always wanted to know.
You know what? It's a guy a couple of years when Diaz was on his hot streak. The guy, Timmy Trumpet or whatever, whoever does it, he's an Australian dude that plays the trumpet. He actually came to Citi Field and played it live the one time that Diaz came in. So I'm not that familiar with him. I think if it wasn't for this, a lot of people wouldn't have ever heard of him. But again, he's an Australian guy. But yeah, that was the most disappointing thing about the injury is that we didn't hear that at Citi Field all last year. But seriously,
that one down.
I had to open the can. I'm so sorry, guys.
no, that's totally okay. I think you can expect to hear it when he comes in game.
All right, I bet so.
Jamie, any news from the Yankees?
Um,
I
From my-
think I had one
From
more.
my point of view, I think they're gonna have a bounce back year from last year. Their hitting is good, I think, from 1 to 9.
Jamie, I did have one more question for you. I forgot to put it up here, but let's look at it.
Oh, Anthony Rizzo's concussion. Yeah, you definitely we'll see how he does coming back from that, because those are things you don't want to mess with. But he's such a valuable player to the team, Rizzo, man. I love Riz. He's a great guy, good player, character guy. Always has his charity for cancer and everything. As people know, he's a cancer survivor and just a fantastic dude and a great player all around. I hope we can actually have him on the team this year and have him come back as a regular contributor.
Jamie, should I put Anthony Volpe on my
I
fantasy
think
football
my
team this year?
most memory of Rizzo would definitely be when he struck out Freddie Freeman.
Nice.
Wait, Jason, you said you have Anthony Volpe on your fantasy team?
Yeah, I do. Should I dump him or keep him?
Depends what you want to do. He had a good rookie year. Hopefully he doesn't have a sophomore slump, but I think you should keep it for now. And then if he doesn't do great, you can always replace him.
All right, sounds good. I'll take your advice on that one.
That's the one great thing about fantasy anything now is you can, if a guy's struggling, you can eventually replace him later.
All right.
So I know you were on vacation. Did you see your first baseman signing yesterday?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, from the Yankees, Luke Voigt,
I did see that. You know,
former
and-
Yankee.
I mean, the Mets have had all the signings they've had this offseason have been just like that. It's like, okay, somebody that may come in and be able to help, somebody that may be able to make a difference, but they didn't make any splashes, in my opinion. And again, they picked up some guys that maybe can sneak in and be helpful and better than people think. But I don't like how the Mets are handling this whole Pete Alonso situation, at first base. It's sad because the Mets are acting like they're showing no interest in signing this guy. And you take it from Pete Alonso's side. I mean, this is a franchise player. Pete Alonso is making every indication that he wants to be, on this team. And the Mets are just doing nothing. And I'm afraid they're going to lose him eventually. And
They're doing something. They're saying, "Tell me something, boy. Are you really gonna fill it in with Luke Voigt?" I think they're in the shallow right now.
Oh,
The Mets.
boy.
Well, I was just going to say their reaction to this whole thing is very shallow. But I don't like how they're handling that situation. So I'm having nightmares that Luke Voigt ends up being their starting first baseman, and that wouldn't be good. Nothing against Voigt. Again, the Mets have some depth, but I just no splashes this offseason. Just signing a bunch of guys that had mild success in places.
Hey, Joe,
And-
speaking of Luke Voigt, since we're going to be doing our Mets, Yankees show. I remember him when he was on the Yankees. He started out good, and then I think age just got to him. I mean, he's a good depth player, like a guy that you want like for a AAA experience, but I don't think he's going to be the same guy he was on the Yankees. So
No,
and
neither do I. And again, the Mets seem good at signing guys like that. Like Vogelbach, like they had the last couple of years, and people like that. That again, that were good for other teams for a little bit, and good, help the Mets a little bit, but end up just being shadows of their original selves. And
the
just,
Subway Series is going to be interesting this year, Joe, because Aaron Boone is the Yankees manager, and guess what? Your manager was the Yankees bench coach under Aaron Boone, the one you just hired. So that should be interesting.
it should be interesting, and that managerial decision is another question mark that the Mets have.
Mhm.
Jamie, you
So
just said it back. This whole Pirates team, like their average age is, I'm going to say 34. So I mean, they might look good in the beginning, but I have a feeling they're going to turn into Joe Flacco in the playoffs, and it's all going to fall apart.
Hey,
And then they go back to being a young team again with all the rooks that they got.
I will say
The
this.
battle for second place on this team right now. They're saying Trilo is going to be the utility guy. Everyone had him penciled in as the starting second baseman. He's being right now compared to Ben Zuberis, which Dylan, I'm sure you know all about him.
Ben
That's
Zobrist.
who they're comparing this Trilo guy to. We have what is it?
Ben Zobrist was before the pitch clock era, Adam. Let's remember that.
No, I actually
I
have
would
one.
say what they're comparing Trilo to as a utility guy. I mean, some people are saying he's Ben Zuberis. Brave. Jay, your dog's making a cameo.
Yeah, she likes being a party crasher. Sorry. This is Molly, guys. Say hi, Molly. Hey.
Phoenix was already in. I don't know if she was on screen today or not.
Oh, and Casey, I wanted to tell you, being new to the podcast, Joe could tell you this too. I make a lot of singing references. I do Chris Berman references on our Bills podcast. So I hope I'm sorry if you were annoyed by that reference there. I did there. I do that a lot. I just wanted to let you know that, and it's nice to meet you officially.
Nice to meet you. No, man, that's good stuff. I enjoyed it. And then the double down with the shallow from Joe. That was great.
Oh. Nice. Casey,
Hey,
hard with the heat.
Joe and I we're easy going. We don't get offended by too much with our teams.
Casey, you're just like Frank Viola, man. Sweet music.
If only I had the mustache for it.
Right, there you go.
Hey Jamie, you know what?
What, Dylan?
At least I wasn't taking an hour and a half to fix my batting gloves like Noah Garcia-Paul back in the day.
That was Nomar's only flaw. Other than that, he was a beast.
He was also a notorious first ball hitter that always used to piss the hell out of me, especially when he was with the Dodgers. Nomar never saw a pitch that he didn't swing at. This guy would swing at fireflies in the air, man. That's how notorious of a first pitch swinger he was.
Well, that's what happens when you're married to Mia Hamm.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
He hits.
Mia Hamm's a good-looking good looking for a female soccer player. Don't diss her.
No, ma, in the yard.
Jamie, what do you think of the Oswaldo that came up last year as a prospect?
Wait. Actually, I like him. I liked him when he played in the playoffs actually in the 2022 postseason. That's actually when he first got recognized. I like him, but I also like Oswald Peraza too. I like both those guys. They're young. They kind of remind me of their old school, Sandlot kind of players. They're good contact hitters, and they're super fast, and they're important now because with the bigger bases and the pitch clock, you need fast guys like that to be able to also steal bases too, because that's what Ron Manfred was trying to do last year by adding the pitch clock and bigger bases. He wanted to bring speed back to the game besides guys just jacking home runs.
Guys, hold on real quick. Jay has to exit stage left. So as we say before we all leave the stage, Jay, go ahead and tell us how to get you, buddy.
Yeah, you guys can find me on my Twitter account, the artist formerly known as Twitter, which is now X, right here, Dodger Jason. Go ahead and feel free to follow me, comment, interact with me, do whatever you want. I apologize, I have to leave early tonight, but Dylan, Casey, it was a pleasure meeting you guys for the first time. Hope I can do it again in the future.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we do this baseball thing.
Oh, yeah, it's great. And Jamie, Joe, always a pleasure to catch up with you guys as well. Fun talking with you guys also. I look forward to catching you guys on the backside. And then Adam, obviously I'll stay in
Good seeing you
contact
again,
with you, my
Jason.
friend.
Absolutely,
All right.
Jay. Anytime, you know that.
Likewise.
Hey, we might be getting Brandon back soon, just to let you know. Maybe do some Packers talk, get him in a better mood. Unfortunately, his mom passed away, and
Oh,
you know,
got it. Okay.
we need to hear some guys up sometimes, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
I'll keep him in my prayers.
Okay.
Nice
God
meeting
bless
you.
everyone.
All right.
See you.
Good talking to you.
Jay. With Jason Dodger.
Jamie, one
Jason,
more question for you. Do you think we'll get a Dominguez sighting this year?
If he comes back as scheduled 6 months, that's when they said he's supposed to come back is 6 months. So which means probably in July or maybe June or something. I don't know, but yeah, I love that. I think that kid could turn from a prospect to a superstar if he stays healthy. Because what he showed last year, hitting his first home run against the Astros at Minute Maid Park, I think that kid's got superstar potential written all over him.
I agree.
He's not just any prospect. Like I think he's the prospect for the Yankees.
Case, do you feel that I also talk Guardians, just to let you know. Do you feel we're in the weakest division?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So how many wins do you think? I mean, I'm jumping the gun here because I'm going to do another show, but how many wins do you think it's going to take to get the division?
You know, I think if you get to, honestly, in this division, if you get to 87, you're probably going to win this division. I mean, I don't think you're going to see 100-win club out of this division. I'd be surprised. I think the Twins will win the division, but the pitching is just so bad beyond Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. I think we're really asking a lot out of Chris Paddock to come back and Bailey Ober and Louis Varland. I mean, that sounds like it's going to be our starting rotation, and frankly, I'm not that confident in it. So I just don't think we're going to see somebody run away with a ton of wins in this division at all.
No, I think it's going to be like the NFC North.
Well, don't forget, Casey, look what I just posted. That 2000 New York Yankees team that won the World Series. They won the AL East at 87 and 74 that year, and they beat the Mets in the World Series.
Here's a quick question about the Central Division. Do you think any of you think any of those lesser teams make a surprise run? I mean, the division is wide open. I mean, I think the Twins and the Guardians perhaps are the the tops in the division, but any of the other teams make a splash, do you think?
I think the Kansas City Royals win the AL Central.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
And in fact,
This is where we need Mark. Mark would be all over you right now, Dylan. He'd be smiling like a butcher's dog, but sometimes Mark is up in Rio Grande.
in fact,
De Janeiro right now. He's having a blast.
I think even what last year proved that, there's like in any sport, I think there's never really been more parity, and I think there could be a lot of teams that surprises you, especially with the Astros not having Dusty Baker as their manager anymore.
no, I mean I like Kansas City, and you can put this in Sharpie right now. Bobby Witt's winning the AL MVP this year.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
I will say Bobby Witt Jr. is an absolute baller. that
Mhm.
kid, I'm so happy that they gave him some money to stay in Kansas City. He'll be the face of that franchise, and they need it. I mean, I grew up in southern Nebraska. Kansas City Royals were my squad with George Brett and Frank White and Bo Jackson, and we used to go to Kauffman Stadium all the time. But
You and
they
Mark,
needed
you and Mark are going to get along great. He lives in the outskirts. He lives like 4 hours, but Nebraska's his college fan.
Mhm.
okay, yeah. My dad has
He's
season
also
tickets to the
a
Huskers
fan,
for
so-
football.
Matt
So I'm
Rule.
curious, was your wife wondering who you were talking to in the garage?
Yeah, she goes, Are you still on that thing? I said, yeah. She said, Are you on mute? I said, no. So she just smiled and walked away.
We couldn't hear you if you were on mute. I mean, I know it was a joke, but that's my brain using common sense too.
She's used
Well,
to like
this
a
is
Zoom
her
meeting
podcast,
when
so-
you pause yourself. You pause yourself on a Zoom meeting, for example. That's not what's the case here, but
That's
what
the
she's
worst. That's the worst feeling ever. I think that's a pet peeve to some people.
You put the cardboard cutout of yourself and make it move every once in a while.
Well, I mean, people did say I do look like Austin Butler, so maybe I could put an Austin Butler cardboard cutout when I leave. I'm just kidding, but
I'll know you're gone, Jamie. Shit. Jamie, you ain't fooling anyone if you put a cardboard cutout out.
Right.
Unless it's voice activated, that might be the only way.
Well, I haven't figured out. I don't think anybody in America's invented the software for that yet, but
And I just want to let everyone know my background is not normal tonight. Because I'm going through major renovation, and the people I keep buying computers, like I bought a computer desk, and they keep sending me the wrong, like whoever made the desk part drilled the holes wrong.
I'm
So
in.
I
I'm
can't-
in. I'm in.
yeah,
I'm
they
in my
drilled the holes
basement.
wrong, so I can't build the stupid thing.
You don't have to feel bad. I'm in my basement in a house that I've been living in since I went to school. Here I've been in this house since 1998, from childhood to elementary, middle, high school, and even when I had to commute to Fisher to Pittsburgh, I'm still in this house, in this basement.
Joe, you
So
got
another
your
little
behind you. How long before you get a Mets jersey on that bad boy?
Yeah, we got to find that again. You know, the Bills jersey's gone, but I think once we start the baseball show, we'll get the Mets jersey on there.
Joe decorates his skeleton, as everyone can see over his left shoulder.
Hey
It's-
Joe, once we do the Bills show again, hopefully you decorate it with a Brian Thomas Jr. jersey, because that's who I want in the first round, or Keon Coleman too.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I
Those
say
are the
I'm in
two I want.
my daughter
Or-
graduated, but she's got this. She took physical therapy in school and everything. So we kept Billy. We named it. So he's behind me for every show.
So then, when the Bills and Jags play this year in Orchard Park, you better not have a Trevor Lawrence jersey there.
No.
We might
No.
beat it this year because it's not in London; it's in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not Week 15 because we know what happened the last time the Jags and Bills played in Orchard Park. It was a big fight.
Oh yeah, 2018. That's because with Shaq Lawson, and that's when Jalen Ramsey called Josh Allen trash.
No, I'm
Casey,
letting
I just want to let you know it usually ends up going football at some point in every show.
See, yeah.
that's completely fine by me. I'm versed in that as well. I'm in.
Because that's the number one ratings getter now in sports and TV.
It's crazy. Football was the #1 rating.
College is going to get crazy with the ratings too, with all the super conferences and everything now, and the 12-team playoff.
I'll be curious to see the NCAA football game come out. Did you guys see that those college athletes were getting $600 to use their name in the game, and a free copy of the game?
Yeah, I know, because I saw Jeff Badette's Twitter, and Jeff Badette's a spring footballer, and he said that's more than when they only paid me $80 to be on NCAA 13 and 14.
Hey,
Hey,
Joe,
I'm
do
gonna-
you know where Geneseo is?
What?
Do you know where Geneseo is?
How'd you know that that's my alma mater?
Well,
It's
Myrtle
my dad's
A,
alma mater too, and my cousin's alma mater.
Myrtle A. Merritt is my great aunt.
Okay.
She was the athletic director. That their athletic center is named after her.
That's right. You know,
Hey,
I mean, I
Joe,
went there
did
a while
Did
ago.
you hear what just happened with Geneseo?
No.
I went to Fisher, and Fisher's part of the Empire 8. Geneseo is going to be a full-time member of the E8 of the Empire 8 starting next year.
That's pretty awesome. I mean,
So that means
you know,
Geneseo and Fisher will be conference rivals now instead of non-conference opponents.
yeah, they always played each other in sports. I remember, you know, when I went there late 80s, you know, mid 80s, late 80s. But, you know, I'm going to ask you guys a question that's been on my mind. We were talking about college football, so I'll make a segue. Now, I'm down on college football because I hate the playoff format. What's your opinion on baseball?
We're going to what, 8 or 12 this year?
It's
They're
12,
gonna
but it's going to be a 5x7 instead of a 6x6. So that means one of the playoff spots must be a group of 5 team. That's how
Yeah.
it is.
They're going 12, but I'm kind of down on college football. But what do you guys think of baseball's playoff format? I'm very curious because I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. But I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on it.
It's good for parity, but obviously it wasn't that great for ratings because the ratings were like
Good for
for
home
the
games.
playoffs were at an all-time low last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
It's
say
good for home teams.
I'll say this. I think it's if you look at it last year, the Braves, Dodgers both won 100 games, didn't win a playoff series. The Orioles and the Rays had the 2 best records in the AL, didn't win a game. I mean,
That's why I don't like it.
I think what MLB and like the Twins. Sorry, Casey, but the Twins won fewer games than what every other AL team, and yet got a home playoff series.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because they won the division and they deserve that. But I'm not a big fan because, again, as a baseball
have
fan,
a 5-game set.
Or like
Jeff?
look at Arizona. Nobody had them going to the World Series, and they did, and they ended up losing.
Would
to the
everyone
Rangers,
rather see the
Texas
first round be a
Rangers.
game of 5 and you got to win 3? That way, at least you're guaranteed 1 game at home if you're the lower seed.
My opinion is I feel like it should be at least a best of 3 series. You know, then everybody gets at least 1 game at home.
It is. It's not a 1-game playoff series. It's a 3-game series
No,
now.
it's a 3-game
it is.
series. But what I'm
The
saying,
wild card.
all 3 games are played in the higher seeds' home.
I
Which
agree with
obviously
that.
Doesn't matter. I mean, what St. Louis got beat by Philly, and then obviously we just talked about Atlanta getting beat. We talked about so obviously it's not working well to the home team's advantage.
Well, see, I like the team having all 3 games at home in that first round. I think this is what I would propose. I don't think MLB will ever do it, but give the teams a chance because when you're off for a week or a week and a half, you're just losing all that momentum that you've had. That's why these teams are losing. And, you know, I say give them a choice. You're the number 1 seed. You get a choice. Do you want to play that 3 games and stay fresh, or do you want to take a break and rest guys and get your rotation ready? I think they should give them a choice as to what they want to do. And secondly, I think the only thing that needs to be expanded, I think the divisional round should go from 5 to 7, regardless of, you know, how it works, because then you're giving those teams a chance that if they do get off to a slow start, they have more time to recover. So that's what I would do. If I'm the commissioner, the Braves are the top seed in the National League. Do you want to play this first round series at home, or do you want to get the bye and go ahead? And then if they get beaten 3 games in the divisional round, that's on them. All right. But it's not on the system.
Speaking of the commissioner, Joe Manfred said he's thinking about stepping down in 2029. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that, you know, and I don't care really. I mean, he hasn't done anything great in my opinion, but
the pitch clock was the best thing he did. That's the best thing
true.
he did.
I stand corrected because the
Here's
pitch
the-
clock may have saved the game here.
Not for Garrett, not for. I'm sorry, I'm spending 50, 60 bucks on a damn ticket. I want to be able to enjoy it, and I know we've talked about this numerous of times. But you know, if I'm at the game, I want to enjoy it. I want to get my money worth.
True.
You know, I don't want to go stand in line for wings and it come back and it's the fourth inning and I left in the second inning.
Yeah.
I something has to change in that. Like maybe give the crowd a break to actually get shit and again get back to their seats.
Yeah.
That is a good idea, Adam. I like that.
But I know the games are going too quick, and I'm feeling people are going to the game to enjoy it, spend money, and then all of a sudden, before they know it, they're in the fourth inning already, and they're like, "Shit, I didn't get anything yet."
Right.
Now I don't know if it changed to like let folks stay afterwards a little bit to like go to the souvenir stores, clubhouse stores. I don't know what you guys call it at your place. We call it like the clubhouse store, or we call it the Bucko ship. I believe they call it now or some shit.
I think they well, no, the Red Wings still did the fireworks after it was a quick game, and they did all that. So
Well, I mean, every team does fireworks after a win. I
no, the
believe.
Red Wings do it win or lose. They do it like as a thing every weekend game.
Oh,
They do like an actual post game fireworks show. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know.
what
I
are
think they
what are
need to
your
change
thoughts
something.
on this, Dylan Casey?
Be honest with you, I think what MLB should do is have starters go deep in the games because, I mean, it's weird how, like, one starter goes 4 or 5 innings and, like, oh, the bullpen's coming in now. It's like, why
It
can't
used to be that way. Guys could go deeper.
I mean, like, and starters never got hurt. Now, I mean, true, starters didn't throw 152 miles an hour back in the day.
Right, that's the thing. You got pitchers that, like I said, they're obviously throwing like 100 miles an hour that their arms just get tired out after 5 innings.
I mean, Garrett Cole might be the last guy, and the last guy you say, hey, he can get me 2 innings.
And that's why he won that AL Cy Young last year.
Finally won one. About time he won one.
I would love to see starting pitchers go 8 innings again and, again, 200 innings and pitch complete games and things like that.
Like
You
we're
know-
never gonna get John Smoltz and John Norris Game 7
Jack
Right.
of the
Cole-
World Series. Going the distance, just 1-0. Probably I'm sure Casey was wide awake for that game.
Yeah, but see, the reason why the Yankees obviously didn't, well, they had guys go deep, but obviously they had to have Mr. Enter Sandman come in and close out for him in the 9th inning, Mariano Rivera. So
Ah, that guy
That-
pissed me off.
That World Series game was probably one of the best games I've ever actually went back and rewatched just because of them two were pitching. It was Idol versus Mentor. I mean that Game 7 just worked out perfectly.
Yep.
Casey?
That whole World Series was amazing. But
I miss
especially-
old school baseball in general. I mean, think about the days of Nolan Ryan and Mike Scott, right? Those guys threw 300 innings apiece. They both struck out north of 300 batters apiece. We're
Yep.
never going to see anything like that ever again.
and guess what though, Casey, that old school baseball that you mentioned, they played in that era where games were going fast and you had bigger bases before the pitch clock, if you think about it.
And I guess, for me, the pitch clock for me is not that big of a deal. I'm with Adam. I go to a game. I want to enjoy. If you don't want to stay all 9 innings because it's taking too long, what are we saving here? 25, 30 minutes, maybe? I mean, that's your wait in the parking lot to get a parking space, So, I mean, I don't really care. That didn't really bother me, the pitch clock piece of it. Sure, there are those players that are annoying. And, back in the day, they just throw at them if there's a batter that wouldn't get in the box. And, if there's a pitcher taking forever.
But that's why you have the pitch clock, because it forces them to basically play that style again.
But that was kind of like the anomaly to me, not the norm. You know what I mean? There's a handful of guys that drove you crazy. It wasn't everybody.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Bob Gibson would throw at your head.
Like I like the pitch clock now because it reminds me of an old style. It reminds me of an old style pitcher. Like I saw some of the Yankees relievers in the spring training game against Toronto, and they didn't mess around. They just went up and wind up, which was cool.
I don't like that it costs you a ball or a strike if you're not ready and within that 1 second difference. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It takes
I
away.
like that though. Just freaking
takes away
wind
from the
up.
game
Don't
for
mess
me.
around.
It's taken away from like
That's
the
how I
drama.
would play if I was a pitcher.
Taken away from the drama. Like there's no time for the stare down if a pitch comes at your head. You gotta get
Yeah, but
right back and
Aaron Boone
off.
still found a way to get ejected from games last year, even in faster games. So there you go.
I'm not saying that, but it just takes away from like the stare down, the fight, the rivalries.
The intensity. I mean, it just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. I could care less. I guess
I think
could
players
leave it.
can still find ways to create
I'm
that
watching
even with
I like the faster
games,
game
believe
for
me.
sure
Mhm.
because I'm at home. But if I'm at the game, I want it to last because I spent money on a ticket.
Mhm.
Right.
I just think it also keeps the players fresh for the games that they have
Did
next.
they get rid of the double header 7 innings yet?
Nope.
Too.
The minor leagues they do that. I don't think the major leagues they
Yeah,
do.
they do it in the MLB, don't they?
They did it during COVID.
I thought that
Like-
carried over.
No, it
Nah,
didn't.
just for a couple of years they had it. I think now they're back to regular 9 innings.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't know.
Joe, I got a question for you, Joe. Since if Manfred leaves, like he says in 2029, who would you want to be the commissioner?
Shoot, I never thought about that. I don't know who's the like Tony Phillips there, or
Yeah,
or,
but a lot of there's some people who say that he's worse than Manfred, but I don't believe that.
that's a very good question that I've never thought about. So
I don't think Phillip is worse than Manfred though, because Phillip and Manfred actually disagree on a lot. I heard
Okay.
they do.
We're talking 5 years from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, good question. That we'll have to look into that.
Because in the NFL, I know they always extend Roger Goodell, but you know who I would want to be the next commissioner? Our old buddy Troy Vincent from the Bills, Joe. That's
Someone
why.
said that the
Yeah.
other day, too. I mean, he has to be well liked, right? Because he was a player. Maybe not if you got smashed by him, but
Well, no, he's well liked. He was a great player, and he's a smart guy too. He kind of knows the rules and everything too. He's a smart guy.
Either way, he's going to be a pawn for the owners. He's going to do the exact same thing Goodell's doing because that's what they want, and that's who's writing the check. So it doesn't matter who the commission is going to be. It's all about the owners anyway, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You think it's the same in baseball?
Not as much. I think baseball is a little bit different animal. You do things like, I know we're trying to shorten the game and things like that, but extra innings, we're starting like a child playground game and we got to run around,
Yeah.
ghost runner on second, and it's like, come on.
Well, no, they because extra inning games have
on a second.
because extra inning games used to go on forever. That's why.
Well, yeah,
That's why they have a ghost runner at second.
I mean, the Pirates are known to go in extra innings. We went 19 with the Braves and had a 1:30 start the next morning. Unfortunately,
I
we
like-
lost to the Braves.
and
I
but
liked
still-
that, though. I liked that.
I did too, but as time goes on, you got to find a way to make the game advance and better too.
I mean, it worked for 100 years.
Right.
Correct. Oh man. Well, any parting words, guys? We've been an hour and 10 minutes. Any parting words, Dylan?
Play ball.
I'm ready. I'm
Yes,
ready.
I can't wait for the regular season to begin. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, I
right?
usually watch spring training games just to get the warmth of Florida, but I was just in Florida, so now I'm ready for the regular season here.
Did you get to go to any spring training games, Joe?
I did not. No, I didn't go down there. My parents are in more like North Florida, so I didn't get a chance to go down to see any. But one of these years I will. But like I said, I'm ready for the real games now.
Dylan gets to see some spring training games. He has a good view, a good seat. Good, Dylan. Tell him what you do.
I'm working for the Red Sox at JetBlue Park.
Excellent.
In fact, Jamie, we're going to see your Yankees on St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Looking forward to it.
So bring the Irish whiskey.
Hey, I got an idea for you. I bring the let's see, New York City. What's popular in New York City? I bring the let's see. I bring Ellis Island, and you bring the Dirty Water as they sing in Boston after the Red Sox win.
That's what we'll do after. That's what we play after every Red Sox win. We play Dirty Water.
I heard that. Same thing with the Bruins, and then the Yankees do New York, New York, Frank Sinatra.
Okay. Well, we play Sweet Carolina at all games.
I know about that too. That's a great song.
All right. Who wants to go first to say how we can get a hold of you? Don't all jump.
All right. I'm Joe Dalio here, Joe Dal Sports, Twitter, X. You can find me there.
Sweet.
Jamie Malloy, and you can find me, yours truly, at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist at DJ Dogtags, and also at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat. And you can also find me here on DefiantTakes.com, where with me and Joe, we just finished up season 1 of our Bills and NFL podcast called the Buffalo Sports Conversation Room. Please tune in for season 2. Starting in July, or if we come back with a draft show. But also, guys, don't forget, as Anna mentioned and showed, Joe and I will be doing our own baseball show called the New York City Subway Combo, where I, the Yankees fan, get to try to pick Joe's Mets brain here, and he picks my Yankees brain, and we share different news about the Yankees and the Mets and what goes on there. So yeah, now we're the hosts of 2 podcasts, so check those out. And also you can check me now at theforkball.com, where I write all stories on all sports, from NFL now to NBA to hockey. And I'm sometimes a guest on those podcasts too.
Right.
You're a busy dude, James. I don't know how you do it. I don't.
Well, Casey Lemons.
I'm treating this as, it's also my career too, not just a hobby.
That makes a lot of sense then.
Speaking of hobbies, I'm just a random sports fan. Love to talk with different dudes and meet new people. You can find me at Casey Lemons on X, and it's as simple as that. You know, I just appreciate
Called it
the
X,
invite.
guys. I didn't say Twitter.
Yeah, I refuse.
I also call it the platform formerly with the blue bird logo.
I still call it the Twitter machine all the time, just on accident. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Why don't we?
But thanks for having me again, Adam. Nice to meet all of you guys. It's been
Now it's
Yeah,
the
well,
Musk
thank you.
machine.
Now, if you want to stick around, we bullshit after the show for a minute. It's all good. It's up to you guys. Dylan, don't be shy up there, boss.
At Dylan
All for the
Warren, Spunky Spectrum, see me, Spunky Spectrum Sports, host of the Big D podcast. Thank you, boys, for a baseball-rific night. I think we all hit it out of the park.
I guess I didn't really talk to Pirates tonight, but you know, sometimes it's hard to talk Pirates.
By the way, Paul, wait till that pitcher from LSU's in the big leagues, Adam. He's good.
Oh, Paul, he should be in the big league already. They should not even send him
Derek
down.
Jeter and Big Puppy.
But But all right, I am Sports Talking It. Find me on Twitter or X there, whatever you want to call it. Then we got Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. We got Driving to the Top on X. Yeah, obviously I didn't go on anyone else's show because I just went on my channel only tonight, boys, just to let you know. Because I didn't want to ruin your guys' shows, just to let you know. So it was only on the Driving to the Top, my pages, and that's it. So if you boys want to share it from there, go for it. If not, everyone, thanks for tuning in. The Back It Up Binge podcast. They talk Orioles, they talk Dolphins. Got to interact with them a little bit last night, huh, Dylan?
Yep.
Dylan's done 3 shows in a row with me, guys, just to let you know. So we're rolling, and we are going out.